Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Industrial policy will be one of the key priorities for the Greek presidency during this semester. It is true that the European Union underestimated the importance of the European industry, and I firmly believe that we pay the cost. We pay the cost in terms of competitiveness, in terms of growth, in terms of jobs. And that's why we believe that we have to act and act rapidly in a concrete way. Of course, with no illusions, we don't believe that miracles can occur in the European political life, and especially in 6 months' time. We know that very well. But at the same time, we believe that if we act in an effective way, in an efficient way, we can lay the foundations for the next European Commission in order to come up with concrete, even legislative proposals where it is necessary to address various problems affecting the competitiveness of the European industry, and thus affecting the social life, the social cohesion, by promoting, by adopting concrete measures concerning industrial policy. In practice, we have a kind of social policy, because the efforts for growth and jobs and the efforts to restore competitiveness of the European businesses are closely linked. The Greek presidency will try to have a pragmatic approach, and I'm glad that during our discussions today, all the ministers understand this approach, and all the ministers understood this approach, and all the ministers understood the need to act and to act now. Our efforts will be based on the communication of the European Commission, the 4 different communications, and in this framework I have to refer to the personal efforts made by the Vice President Tajani as regards European industrial policy. And that's why we'll focus on 6 different specific priorities. First of all, we aim to address the high cost of energy and the lack of a unified energy market. I believe that this is probably the most important priority. We need to mitigate the negative impact of the high cost of energy, twice higher than the USA, Russia, while especially EU gas is 3 to 4 times more expensive than for the USA, the Russian, and the Indian competitors. Secondly, our objective is to address the high cost of bureaucracy by improving the business environment, identifying burdensome legislation, while also simplifying and stabilizing the tax system. Thirdly, we aim at improving access to finance, something we Greeks understand very well, and address the consequent lack of liquidity, especially for the SMEs. We strongly believe that specialized financial instruments for industry need to be developed in cooperation with the European Investment Bank and the European Investment Funds. Fourthly, we have to stimulate investment in innovation in conjunction, of course, with the digital agenda agreed last October. Fifthly, we have to invest in knowledge economy and new skills, an element of paramount importance in taking advantage of new growth prospects. And finally, our objective is to deepen the notion of a single market, which is also imperative both for maximizing the potential of the internal market and for exploiting opportunities in the global market. These are the 6 different priorities of the Greek presidency during this semester, trying, as I said, to pave the way for the next European Commission and for the next presidency in order to have visible, tangible results. And something which is even more important. We believe that the Commission and all the European institutions must have a horizontal approach as regards European industrial policy, and not a fragmented approach. The efforts of Mr. Tajani are valuable, but they are not enough. The services of the European Commission must act in a coordinated way. We have some actions concerning industry, some other actions concerning energy, some other actions concerning environment. They have to be coherent, they have to be coordinated in order to have added value, and I'm sure that the overwhelming majority of the member states, if not all, agree with this approach. And we have to adopt the same approach at the level of the Council as well. This is the way we see things. We try to address the problems concerning the European industry. Once again, I repeat, we'll try to be a pragmatic presidency. We don't believe that miracles can occur in 6 months, but we believe that if we work in a systematic way, we can pass from theory into action, and this is what is needed now more than ever. Thank you, and after the intervention of Mr. Tajani, I'm at your disposal for questions. Thank you.
Today is a very important day. Why? Thanks to the Greek presidency, for the first time, we have a very industrial council. A lot of ministers for a very interesting debate on industrial policy. A lot of ideas, a long debate, but also many proposals for the March European Council. For the first time, we have the ECOFIN and also the ECOIN. I think this is very, very important to balance the macroeconomy with the microeconomy. For this, I want to thank the Greek presidency and Kostas Hatzidakis for his strong engagement. I totally agree with him on today the theory, but it's important to go to the action. The first action by the European Commission is to put on the table for the first time the money for the European reindustrialization. 100 billion euros coming from regional funds, so subsidiarity, but the target is to reindustrialize Europe. 40 billion euros coming from Horizon 2020 for innovation and research in favor of industry and small and medium-sized companies. At 2.5 billion euros coming from COSME, the project, the European project, the European package for competitiveness of our small and medium-sized companies. Internationalization, venture capital, I think it's very, very, very important to increase the number of venture capital in Europe and also for tourism. E siccome poi mi dicono che non parlo abbastanza italiano, passo alla mia madrelingua. Io credo che il lavoro che abbiamo fatto oggi, con le proposte che il Presidente Hatzidakis invierà al Presidente Van Rompuy, saranno un segnale forte di una politica che l'Unione Europea fa contro la disoccupazione, per uscire dalla crisi, a favore della crescita, ed è una risposta concreta che taglia l'erba sotto i piedi agli euroscettici. Noi non possiamo far finta di non capire quello che succede nei nostri paesi, ma abbiamo il dovere di reagire politicamente al malcontento. Non è sufficiente dire non siamo d'accordo, dobbiamo dare delle risposte ai cittadini. E la politica dell'Unione Europea non può essere solo quella dei sacrifici, ma deve essere anche quella della crescita. Ecco perché considero importantissimo il Consiglio europeo di oggi, il Consiglio competitività, perché per la prima volta abbiamo avuto un vero Consiglio sulla politica industriale. E ripeto, di questo voglio ringraziare il Ministro Hatzidakis, che anche durante l'incontro che abbiamo avuto ad Atene, presentando l'azione del semestre di guida greca dell'Unione Europea, si è impegnato fortemente per rilanciare l'economia reale. Altro punto che abbiamo affrontato oggi, e ci tengo particolarmente perché ne sono responsabile e credo che è un tema che sta particolarmente a cuore anche alla Presidenza greca, è che abbiamo illustrato con la commissaria Damanaki due raccomandazioni, insomma, la strategia che rinforzano la strategia della Commissione europea nel settore del turismo. Erano due punti dei 21 del piano d'azione del turismo. Il primo riguarda la qualità del turismo europeo, per avere un turismo di qualità in diversi settori, per incrementare le presenze dei turisti in Europa. Poi una strategia europea per il turismo costiero e marittimo, che certamente interessa la Grecia, ma interessa tutti i paesi che si affacciano sul mare e vogliono vedere incrementare le presenze turistiche. Si è parlato anche di un tema di cui è responsabile il commissario Borg, ma io sono parzialmente responsabile, siccome mi è stato chiesto sul tema del semaforo. Volevo dare informazione di ciò che ho compiuto in quanto responsabile della circolazione dei beni nel mercato interno dell'Unione Europea. 10 settimane fa ho inviato una lettera alla Commissione Europea, la mia direzione generale ha inviato una lettera EU Pilot al Regno Unito per chiedere informazioni su questa vicenda. 48 ore fa è arrivata la risposta del Regno Unito. La mia direzione generale sta valutando la risposta, se sarà soddisfacente, nulla questio. Se la risposta non sarà soddisfacente, sarò costretto ad aprire la procedura di infrazione nei confronti del Regno Unito. Grazie.
Thank you. I'm from Bloomberg, and I have a question for the Commissioner and for the Minister. For the Minister first, it's the same question. On the cost of energy in Europe, based on what you heard today in the debate, what's your view about how the discussions will go on the climate and energy package that the Commission proposed for 2030? Is there an east-west divide, a north-south divide that's going to make this very difficult to advance on? Could you give us a sense of the political issues at stake? Thank you.
Holding the rotating presidency, Greece has to be very careful in responding to this question. But anyway, what I can say is that the political climate is totally different than in the past. I've been a member of the European Parliament for some years, and I don't remember discussions like today's discussion concerning industry. There is a shift towards industrial policy, I think that all of us have realized the mistakes committed in the past, not only against our industry, but against our youth, against our future. And I think that one way or another, all the member states are determined to address these problems. The proposals of the Commission are paving the way towards this goal, this objective, and I think that the Spring European Council will be a milestone as regards this issue. I don't want to prejudge now, and I think that we have to wait a little bit, but as far as the presidency is concerned, based on the different interventions by different member states, we prepare a letter to Mr. Van Rompuy focusing on concrete issues and concrete proposals, covering, among other things, this issue, and of course, in the spirit to try and find common denominators. But I think I'm optimistic that the next European Council will be an important milestone towards the objectives we are discussing now.
As you know, the European Commission approved 3 weeks ago a package with this industrial renaissance, with energy policy, on climate change, and on shale gas, all together. This is a message, a political message. It's possible to have an industrial policy with a strong engagement against climate change through a good work on energy policy. As you know, for Europe, the energy prices is a big problem. We need a very internal energy market. We are working with my colleague Oettinger, but also the problem is on the table during the council, the competitiveness council. This is, I think, is possible on the climate change. It's possible also to organize a good marriage between industrial policy and our engagement against climate change. Important to have an achievable target for our companies. But it's not in a split. The European Commission approved this package, industry, energy, climate, and shale gas.
Also on the climate, I was just wondering if you could say whether there was some sort of support for, both the binding CO2 target and the renewables target. If you could already see now whether this is something that the Council will actually go forward with, and if you could be a bit more concrete on what you think is possible to actually achieve by the March European Council on this.
On climate change, the European Commission proposed to the Council a target, 40%. Today, after the 2020, to go from 20% to 40%. This is a proposal. Other proposal is to reduce, to have on renewables a target 27%. But these are for Europe, not for every member state. These are 2 proposals to the Council. The final decision is by the Council, made in Council.
María Tejero, de la agencia española EFE. También sobre los costes de energía, vicepresidente, quería preguntarle precisamente por Iberdrola, que ha anunciado que va a dejar de centrar sus inversiones en España debido a la reforma energética del gobierno español, que se ha dirigido precisamente al tema del déficit energético y un poco por el tema de los costes también. Entonces, quería saber si considera que esta reforma puede dañar la competitividad de las eléctricas españolas, como ha estado diciendo la propia Iberdrola. Gracias.
Hablo español, pero no soy el ministro de Energía de España. Próxima vez, no sabemos, pero es necesario también cambiar pasaporte. Ahora no lo hago.
Oui, bonjour, pour Marie-Pauline Dessay d'Agence Europe. Les débats n'étaient pas publics à propos du semestre européen et plus particulièrement sur le marché intérieur. Est-ce qu'on pourrait avoir peut-être un petit briefing rapide de ce qui s'est dit entre les délégations européennes? Merci.
By the European delegations.
We had a long debate among ourselves and with Commissioner Barnier. This is a key issue. Internal market is a key issue in order to strengthen competitiveness of our economy. And we all agreed that the key word is reforms. Sometimes reforms have political costs, and we know that very well in Greece. But I believe that this is the only way to go forward and to address all the issues we have, all the problems we have to deal with today. We had an interesting exchange of views concerning the European semester and the European single market. And I would say that one of the ideas proposed had to do with a system, scoreboard system, in order to avoid the theoretical approach and have what I said before, concrete results. This is a challenge. Not only to discuss, but to deliver